Alright, let's talk about the final three episodes of Mob Psycho. Now, this will be a real quick review on the final three episodes, and one of the reasons is because the final three episodes are more focused on action rather than uh, story. I mean, yes, there was story, but it was more action rather than story. So, episode 9 is pretty much infiltration, and episode 9, episode 10, I meant. It's pretty much the infiltration, and we see that each mob, the blonde guy, I forgot his name again, and Dimple, all three of them basically they have their own opponents and everything set up for them and stuff. And pretty much we see how everyone is dealing with their opponents in their own way and their own form and stuff. So we see that. So that's pretty much episode 10. At the end of episode 10, if I'm correct, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ritsu pretty much fights this unknown person on show, which obviously is revealed who he is in episode 12. And let's move on to episode 11. Episode 11 was pretty much how Ma pretty much saw Ritsu like dead and everything, and he's just like, damn, like it's there and everything. And pretty much again, it was more action based. Like I can't really speak about any morals or anything in those episodes because there wasn't anything except for the last episode, which I'll get into after I speak about episode 11. Because episode 11 is where Mob pretty much goes 100%. His mob explosion meter almost goes out, and he pretty much defeats one of the people. Now episode 12. Reagan, my dude. Obviously, Reagan had to be the man, didn't he? He got all these powers from Mob, and now he's able to defeat everyone. But one of the things that I really liked about was at the end of episode 11, how Reagan pretty much spoke about morals. Now this is now it's a good thing I remembered it was in episode 11 because I was about to say episode 12, but I know it's confusing when it comes to episodes. Trust me. If this was an series that I watched a few times, couple of times, I would have already said which episode is what. But right now it's just my first time watching it. I'm definitely gonna watch it again at some point, but not now. Uh, but yeah, episode 11's ending. How Reagan pretty much speaks about not stepping in, and this just pretty much like it's funny because Reagan gets his powers transferred from Mob. It's he gets his powers activated and he just pretty much starts fighting everyone and stuff. It's like it's funny. It's funny because he says Mob that we should not hurt anyone with your psychic powers and yada yada yada, and everybody thinks that this guy is actually Mob's master. While we, as viewers, we already know that Reagan's power came from Mob, and Mob pretty much transferred the power, which is it's just straight up funny in my opinion because it's like damn Reagan just he's a lucky bastard. I can say that for a fact because at the end of episode 11 I was like damn Reagan is gonna die because it was intense. And let me tell you that this series is definitely something which I would say doesn't hold back on that sort of thing, like a killing intent and everything. So it pretty much doesn't hold back on that. And one of the reasons why I would say that is we saw at the end of episode how show pretty much like destroys the main villain of this arc. He pretty much destroys that guy. And yes, his name is Show. That's the reason why I can't remember it so easily because it's just so many people that are just starting with Show are just very easy to remember for me for whatever reason. But yeah, Show like I can understand he's the leader's son and everything, but he it just shows how powerful in general he is. And if Show was this strong, how strong would the leader be? Just questions rising about that, and especially how he indicated at Ritsu being one of them, like coming on their side at the end of the episode. Like that just got me like they are building up to that because Ritsu even like he has realized that mob's like from mob's point of view what are the things like he really appreciates and everything. Now he's become very close to Mob after all of that. So pretty much shows the brotherly love between them right now. And what would it be unless there is no conflict between brothers, right? Like brothers wouldn't be brothers without that. So it's simple like that. But yeah, show is pretty much indicating to us that Ritsu may turn on their side, uh, which will be pretty cool to see what Mob will do against his brother if his brother is pitted up against that. I know the manga is completed, and I know the next season. I don't know if the anime will be concluded with the next season or will have another season, but I do know that the manga is completed. So they could complete the series and the next season comes out, and pretty much that. So yeah, it was a pretty fun ride. 12 episodes of pretty fun ride. Uh, like if I had to rate the series overall, like I rate my other series that I watch from 1 to 10. C- and I whenever I include rate something, I include animation, voice acting, the score, the pretty much everything that comes into mind that I really like, the characters and stuff, like everything pretty much. So if I had to rate this series from 1 out of 10, it would be an 8 or 8.5 out of 10 for me. Because yes, this series is a pretty damn good series. It has its goofy moments, it has its serious moments, but there are some moments where I'm like questioning the characters, and yeah, that's the reason why it's an 8 or 8.5 for me out of 10. So it's a great series. Like it is an amazing series. That's one thing for sure. And I can't wait for season 2 because through what I have heard, season 2 is gonna be much more serious and darker rather than this series. Like don't get me wrong, this season was pretty damn serious. At it had its serious notes, but it also had very goofy moments in the first 6 to 7 episodes. There were way too many goofy moments. Even in the last episode when the reveal was done, I was expecting that because it just because of how goofy it had been throughout the series. So when season 2 hits, I don't know how serious it's gonna get. Is it gonna change its tone completely from being like this goofy characters to a completely serious character tone? Who knows? But it'll be fun to see what comes up with season 2. Season 1, it was an 8, 8.5 out of 10. It's Let me tell you this. It's an amazing series. It's one of the best I've seen, but it's still not the best series I've seen because there are many more series that are much better and they are pretty much underground animes and they did not get their attention. So that's the reason why I say this is an amazing series. Like again, don't get me wrong when I've said like this is 8 or 8.5 because I know a lot of people love this series for what it is, and a lot of people rate the series really high up to like 9 or 10, even a 10. Like, but yeah, I cannot deny some of the flaws and stuff that I see. Like sometimes I see some flaws, like even in the animation, and sometimes even the characters are questionable, like what they do with the stuff, like how they act and stuff at times. Like I think so. The only character that I've so far seen that has stuck to his ideals and not changed it is Mob, because Mob pretty much he has stuck to his ideals. Yes, he did fight, that was a thing, but it's to rescue his brother. That's a justifiable reason why he fought. So he's still stuck to his ideals in a way. So that's the reason why Mob is the character I love the most throughout the series. Obviously, Reagan would be my second choice. You have to pick the second favorites because I just love that dude. Like this man is just going and flicking the orbs around. It's like, huh, these are toys. And it's like, I gotta love that dude. And if I had to put the third favorite character by any chance, it would be Ritsu. So that'd be Mob, Reagan, and Ritsu. Let me know what your favorite characters are throughout this whole season. And that's it. That's pretty much it for season 1. Yes, I did enjoy the season, if you're asking that. And yes, I will be watching season 2 and reviewing it if you're asking that too. So yeah, let me know what you think about it. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace.